Hey Forest friends, today we're going to learn about the continents, and specifically we're going to start learning about our home continent of North America. So I want to show you a map. I'm scooting back my iPad so you can see this map. This is a map of the world, and you can see all the different continents on it. So this is North America, where we live, the red one, and here's the United States within North America, and here's California, right where we are. Down here, the green continent is South America. We'll be learning about that one next week. Then we have Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. And we'll be learning about each of those continents as the weeks go on. So I wanted to show you your passport. This one is my passport, but in your folder is your passport. And if you open it up to the first page, it looks like this. And it has surname, which means your last name. My last name is Morgan. Given name, that means your first name. My first name is Laura. Birth date, birthplace, USA. And I actually looked it up for all of you. You were all born in the United States. And then date issued is Tuesday the 14th, because that's the first day you're going to get your passport. Inside the passport are pages for each of the continents. So here's a page that shows Africa and Antarctica, and I'm going to just briefly show you the page for North America, and you can see there's a little stamp. I have a stamp for every different continent, and as we learn about the continents, you'll glue the stamp in and you'll get to draw a picture. And you can see here I've drawn a picture of the Grand Canyon, which you'll find out is in the United States. So with that being said, I want to show you another map, and this is a map of just North America. So here's the United States, okay, and here's California, San Francisco, right where we are. The country to the north of the United States is called Canada. And then up here is Alaska. Alaska is actually part of the United States, but it's connected to Canada. South of the United States, below it, is Mexico. And then what we sometimes call Central America is all technically part of North America. That's countries like Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua, and then some of the Caribbean islands, Cuba, the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico, which is actually part of the United States, and then down here is South America, which is the one we'll be learning about next week. So I want to start out by reading a book to you called North America. It's by Rebecca Hirsch, and there's all kinds of photographs. Here's our table of contents, and it tells us all the different things we're going to learn about in this book and the page number that we can look at to find that information out. So for example, if we wanted to find out about the amazing animals of North America, we would go to page 17. But I'm going to read the whole thing to you. Welcome to North America. North America is the third largest continent in the world. It has big countries, and it also has small countries and islands. And here's a picture of Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada. The largest pieces of land on Earth are continents. There are 7. North America is the yellow continent on this map. People of North America. Native Americans were the first people in North America. Many still live here. And this is a Mayan woman making corn tortillas. North Americans come from all over the world. Some live in large cities. Here are school children visiting a skyscraper in New York City. Some people live in small towns or on farms. And here's a farm in the United States. New people bring their customs with them. They bring new foods, celebrations, and special holidays. And here's children watching a Chinese New Year parade. That's the lion dancers. Remember when we learned about that? Amazing animals. North America has many different animals. Moose are large animals that eat plants. And here's a moose, and they grow a new pair of these antlers every year. So those antlers fall off and they grow new ones every year. And the bigger a moose gets, or the older it gets, the bigger the antlers are each year. American alligators are great swimmers. They live in swamps and in ponds. American alligators have between 74 and 80 teeth. Adult humans have 32 teeth. So that means alligators have twice as many teeth as grown-up people. Land and water. North America has forests. These redwood trees are the largest trees in the world. It says tallest, but that's wrong. That's because these are sequoias. It says redwood trees in Sequoia National Park. Those are the largest trees in the world. But our trees that are coastal redwoods are the tallest trees in the world. North America has prairies. Prairies are flat land with many kinds of grasses. Bison and prairie dogs live on prairies. So here's bison eating grass on the prairie. And sometimes you hear people call them buffalo, but bison is the more correct term. North America has tall mountains where people camp and hike. And here are people hiking in the Rocky Mountains. North America has many lakes. Boats on the 5 Great Lakes bring coal and iron to the people of North America. And here's a barge on one of the Great Lakes. Barge is a kind of a ship. Modern marvels. The U.S. Space Shuttle Atlantis took astronauts to space. The launch pad was made of steel and concrete. 2 rocket boosters pushed the shuttle up during liftoff, and the orbiter had the crew, kitchen, and beds on sides inside. And that happened in North America. One more thing. Meet a black bear. Black bears live in the forests of North America. They are good at climbing trees. Bear cubs live with their mothers for 2 years, and mother bears work hard to protect their cubs. Well, that's a great segue into the next thing I want to show you, which are some animals from North America. So here's one. Here it is. It's a black bear. You guys know what this one is? Yeah, it's a raccoon. Raccoons live in North America. Remember, North America is where we live, so these are animals that you may have heard of or seen before. Here's a bobcat, and bobcats are called that because they have a short, bobbed tail. This one has its tongue out. Kind of silly. This is a badger. We'll see later on when we do Europe, we'll see European badgers are different than American badgers. And this one is a beaver. Look at its wide, flat tail. All right, now I want to show you some cards that I made. And the cards show lots of different things. Animals from North America, famous places in North America, foods people eat, clothes, houses, and flags from some of the countries in North America. So here's a picture of a bald eagle. That's our national bird. A caribou, which also can be called reindeer. A bison or buffalo. And a picture of a real bobcat there. So here are some foods that come from North America. A hamburger, which comes from the USA. I bet you all have had one of those before. Tacos, which come from Mexico. Maple syrup, which Canada, our neighbor to the north, is famous for. And plátanos, which come from Cuba, and that's a kind of a banana dish. They're not as sweet as bananas, and they're used more like a potato. Okay, here are some famous places in North America. This is a picture of Niagara Falls, which is a really big waterfall, and it is in Canada, but it's actually between Canada and the United States. Here's a picture of Yosemite. That's in the United States. In fact, in California, you may have been there. And that is a picture of Half Dome. Here's a picture of what I drew in my passport, which is the Grand Canyon in the United States, which is in Arizona. And then Chichen Itza, which is in Mexico, and it's a place where there are pyramids. So now I'm going to show you some pictures of people and what they might look like, what their families might look like. So here's a picture of a family in Mexico. School children in Cuba. And if you look, can you see how they're all wearing the same thing? They're wearing uniforms. Hey, and uniform starts with the letter U. Here's a child from Jamaica. And children from Guatemala. Guatemala is known for its really brightly colored clothing. Okay, now we'll look specifically at clothing. Here's a picture of people's clothes in Puerto Rico, and you can see they look pretty similar to what we wear. Clothing in Cuba. And if you look at that, can you see how it's probably hot in Cuba? People are wearing short sleeves, short dresses. Clothing in Canada. And do you think it's hot or cold there? Yeah, it can get really cold in Canada. You can see they're all bundled up. And then clothes in Guatemala, those brightly colored clothes again. Here's some pictures of what some houses might look like. Here's a house in Canada. Looks a lot like ours here in America. And here's a house in the United States. Looks a lot like the ones we have here in Livermore. And here's a home in Mexico. Again, not super different. This one might look a little different. A house in Costa Rica. You can see that they are drying their clothes outside on a clothesline. All right, some flags. Here's the flag of the United States and our neighbor to the north, Canada. A flag of Mexico. The flag of Costa Rica. These are some of the Central American countries that are considered part of North America. The flag of Guatemala. The flag of Puerto Rico. Remember, it's part of the United States, and so you can see it has the same colors as the United States flag. The flag of Jamaica. And the flag of Cuba. Now, here's where the fun part comes. You're going to find your North American stamp and glue it right in the top page of North America. Glue it underneath the words so that it doesn't cover the word, okay? And it is the dark pink stamp, okay? Now you get to choose something either from the book or one of the animals or one of the cards to draw. I chose the Grand Canyon, so I drew it with crayons. Don't use markers because they'll bleed through to the other side. And then have a grown-up label it with a pen or a pencil. I labeled it myself because I can write for myself. So I wrote Grand Canyon, USA. You can go back and pause the video at one of the cards or at one of the animals or something from the book that you want to. Or on the blog, I gave a link for all the cards so that you can go online and look at the cards more closely. All right. Have fun doing your continent page, friends. See you later.